Welcome to Moonlight Madness, and today we're doing the sign of fire, Sun, Moon and Rising, and the deck I'm using is the Lover's Tarot, the Lover's Path Tarot by Chris Waldrer. Got that from Rainbow Runner. It's a Christmas present to myself. I was asked to do a reading and I didn't have a Lover's deck, so I thought I would start off with something that was easy, and I really like the pictures on the deck. They have lots of imagery of famous love stories that are bound to the cards, and it gives it more meaning for me to talk about these great loves that changed history because they were not actually meant to be. They, like the great Romeo and Juliet love story, they divided. Leonardo DiCaprio plays it, but talks about two different principalities, I guess, coming together and defying all odds to be with each other. So we've got the first card up is balance. This is the center of the card reading. This is what you're striving to achieve, is some balance in your life. Maybe you had something upsetting happen to you recently and you're trying to find your feet because your emotions are still everywhere. And if you're someone who likes to be in control of your emotions, you may have a strong Libra placement in your chart, then this talks about wanting to achieve that balance again. You know, the topsy-turvy feeling that we get when everything falls over and doesn't work out like we would have hoped. So yeah, the balance is talking about Venus and Vulcan, and that's a major arcana. This is a new deck, so I'm still getting used to the imagery. It's different to my other deck where I knew what everything was, because they've got, as I said, the icons of the different great loves. So balance is self-control, equilibrium, artistry. Venus was first worshipped as a nature goddess associated with the arrival of spring. Only after gaining notoriety for her sensual exploits to balance her natural exuberance, the gods wed her to Vulcan, the lame god of the forge. Venus did not appreciate her husband's skillful craftsmanship, and she did not hesitate to share her affections with others. Despite this, Venus and Vulcan's marriage endured. Each was necessary to the other, as opposites often are. So you may be attracted to someone who's a complete opposite to you, but the opposites form a brilliant alchemy between mixing a masculine and a feminine, or someone very logical and very reasonable, and it's someone who's very emotional. So the balancing of having the mind and the heart in the same area. We're coming into Cupid season at the moment, so Cupid is all about hitting your heart, and you're bowled over by it because you weren't expecting it. That's what Cupid does. He just shoots his arrow and watches it land, and then two people who probably would never consider dating or being with each other because they are so opposite come together and form this magical union. Integration, moderation, balance between opposites, union of the conscious and unconscious and aspects of the psyche. Yeah, you may have to balance your conscious mind and your unconscious mind. You may have a very strong 5D. You may live on the 5D. I've been told that. I live in the theta and the alpha. I'm rarely on the beta. I'm always daydreaming. I'm constantly walking and getting downloads through the daytime. Usually between 11 and 1 is my golden time, and I'll start to get future visions. And if it's on my left, I know that it's future visions. If it's on my right, it's already happened. So I have to just kind of accept that it's a past memory. Time is not straight. It's not linear. It goes and it circles in a loop. They've got here the next card down, and this is to do with the past, is in your past fire signs you had a deep desire. Tristan and Isolde, famous love story as well, which I will find the meaning of in a second. I think it's the Lovers card that I've just pulled on. That's a 7. Yeah, I love the Lovers card. So Gemini energy, you may have a strong Gemini placement. I know I have Aquarius and Gemini, Libra trine, and I've got a very strong placement in Gemini, and I've also got a fire placement. I have a fire Sagittarian, and I was born at 10:42, which makes me an Aries rising. I've got a lot of fire in me. but also logical. So it's talking about Isis and Osiris. Love. Oh no, that's desire. Sorry, that's the wrong one. Desire. 6, 7. Next one is the Chariot. Okay, so in the past, fate and change happened. Tristan pledged his loyalty to King Mark of Cornwall, who loved and cared for Tristan as his own son. So, through irreversible twists of fate and despite devotion to Mark, Tristan fell helplessly in love with Mark's bride, and she with him. Tristan fell with Mark's bride. Oh, so he lusted after someone else's wife. Okay, bit like Guinevere and Lancelot and King Arthur. Very similar setup. Being pulled by desire, movement into the next phase of life. If you are feeling impatient, don't worry. Transitions will go smoothly as if they are meant to be. Movement, fate, transition and change. You may have had a lot of fated encounters with someone that were married. You may have attracted people that are already married in the past, and it's not to do with anything you've done. It's something they have to work through, something that you may have known them since childhood, so you remind them of when things were easier. They're attracted to when life was simple. That's usually what happens if you've got a best friend or someone who falls for you and they're still involved. That's what that's all about. It's not about love or passion or sex or desire. It's more about wanting simple things in life. So we've got here, you had a lot of choices as well. 7 of Cups in life talks about choices and having been pulled in all directions. So you may be wanting to focus on career, you may be focusing on your wisdom, your coins, your health, death and rebirth. 7 of Cups is trying to find something tangible to hold on to that is solid, and maybe you haven't found that in the past. Maybe you went to reach out for a solid path and realised it was slippery and it was illusionary. 7 of Cups is about illusions and trying to find the truth out of a situation. Indecisiveness, fantasy, overindulging in thoughts of what the future may bring. Daydreams, again it talks about daydreams. A decision must be made in order to move forward and rejoin the world. You may have been so caught up as a child, daydreaming, looking out the window, that you probably got into trouble for it, because you were seeing future things even back then, but didn't know what they were and couldn't put a word to it. The 3 of Staves talks about 3 choices. You may have had 3 opportunities given to you as far as work was concerned, and you had to choose which one that was. So that's talking about successful waiting, enterprising and planning, about to culminate in success, the ability to transform goals into realistic action, focused activity. Yeah, that's what that is. You were very focused in your past. Then you have who's on your ends of your side. This side is to do with your future partner or who's coming in. And you've got the first card I pulled is the Magic card, Merlin and Vivian. Those two were both very psychic. You may be inviting or have attracted someone that's also in your community that is also psychically gifted and does a platform on YouTube as well, and you may have come across each other by accident. You may follow each other's card readings online. So this is magic. Merlin was also the great teacher. You may be teaching them things and they're teaching you things. It's a yin and yang setup. It's a very good union because you're both opposites. You have different ways of reading the cards possibly, and so therefore it's a different view, and each one benefits from each other's viewpoint. Developing the magic within yourself, casting a spell on another to create positive change. Maybe they've cast spells on you, love spells. A yearning to grow beyond perceived limitations, renewed creativity and vigor. Merlin and Vivian, self-empowerment, mastery, actualization, growth. This is the magician, the rock star of the zodiac, of the tarot reading, I call it. So they could be a musician, they may be on stage, they may be someone that attracts fame and fortune to themselves because they've got a platform, but they've also got sexual chemistry, this ability to entice people to their channel. It may be something to do with their voice. I'm hearing their voice is soothing to a lot of people on YouTube. I've watched one and it drew me in was his voice. It was not even his look, it was his voice that drew me in. It's like he's whispering something to someone, and it's like it's between you and him. It's an ability that I've only ever seen with Olivia Newton-John. When she used to sing Hopelessly Devoted to You, it was like she was having a private conversation with you and you alone. And that's why everybody loved her style of songwriting and singing. So developing the magic within yourself. When we think of magic, we often think of Merlin, famed as the influential advisor and wizard to King Arthur. Merlin fell in love in the winter of his life with the lovely Vivian. In time, Vivian used the very spells Merlin taught to her to entrap him. Ultimately, the magic that empowered Merlin all his life had been undone by the only thing more powerful, which was love. Love makes us do crazy things. Love shakes our world up. It's like another card in the deck that I've got, The Wild Wisdom of the Fairy Oracle by Lucy Cavendish, and it's called Fairy Love, and it talks about drinking from the cup of an ambrosia drink, which is wonderful and sweet and oh so tempting that you lose your focus. It's like you're spinning around and around and can't find a focus because you're in love. It knocks you off your center, off your balance. Your balance is being knocked off center. Eight of Staves. That talks about flight. You may have to fly to meet this person who is a magician, who has cast love spells on you. You may want to go to meet them. They may have a lot of coin. They may be quite wealthy. Nine of Coins talks about very independent. They might love their independence, and this is why they're struggling to come to you or for you to go to them, because they don't want to open their heart, because they know once they open their heart, they're just going to fall straight in. It's going to take over every single waking thought in their life, in their sleep. It's everywhere. Maybe that's what they've done to you. You can't think straight. He's everywhere. Everywhere you go, you can see him, you can sense him, or he can sense you as well, because of this magic spell. Love is a spell. We can cast them by accident too. It's what we speak, what we say, what we write, what we feel. Manifestation. If you carve love, bring love to me. It's a beautiful Good Witch's Guide that I've used to bring love to me by Sean Robbins and Charity Bedell. It talks about candle magic and writing bring love to me, and if you burn the candle at the same time 7 days a week, that love will, then there's the candle flickering, love will blow in, will come in quite quickly. So Eight of Staves, okay, Witch's Wands, communication, sudden communication, release, energetic movement, quickness and suddenness. Unknown information will finally be released that makes sense. You may have come into some information recently you didn't know about, or will come into it very soon, and it's going to shed light on how come this relationship's moved quite slow. There may have been some extenuating factors to prevent movement on the gate, on the fence, movement from the station, as I like to call it. The Nine of Coins is luxury, prosperity, fertility, pleasure, feeling blessed by life, enjoying the fruits of one's labours, material prosperity. Now that this is being accomplished, perhaps it is time to create a family. Maybe this person wants to create a family with you. They may have never thought about children before, but they want to plant a seed. It says here, what's going on with you? You've got Strength card. You've had to take up a leadership role, maybe in your community or on the YouTube channel. Maybe you're seen as a leader because people are watching how you do what you do and maybe taking notes and doing something similar or trying to improve on their own platform as well. You can also talk about having the strength to of compassion. So don't mistake my kindness for my weakness is what it's saying. Maybe you're scared to let down your vulnerability, your walls. The strength card I've got here is what's this called? Tiger's Eye, which is intuition. Yeah, I love my Tiger's Eye. And protection. It says this is being protected. Strength. Wow. I had to get a new deck because everyone had touched my other one and I was getting all the energy off them all through the day. So it was like I couldn't figure out who it was coming from because there were so many readings I had done and they all work in the same workplace. So that was very hard to actually hone in on what I was trying to see. Courage, strength, leadership, and confidence. The transformation of weakness into strength. So from great weakness or great sadness comes a strength and integrity, the strength to do great deeds, confident leadership. And you've got the tower, you're going through a tower moment. I've been watching YouTube all morning, and I think it was called Swimming in the Deep. He was mentioning about everyone's going through a tower moment. I know we're coming into Aquarian season, so that is a tower. You know, you're taking down old structures and rebuilding new ones, or something that had to pass from the earth is transforming everything in your orbit because of that one person passing. They may have been your orbit, your world, for quite a long time. You've lost your footing and you're having a tower moment, and it's saying that everyone goes through their dark times and their light times. Reading a Room is another lady I watch, and she has been talking about everyone's going through this dark oppression, this dark night of the soul. Just, yeah, oppressive behaviour. Oppression is tower moments. And I think we've just come out of Saturn. I think I heard Swing the Deep mention. Saturn we were going through a major Saturn cycle, maybe 10-year cycle that we're all coming out of. Feeling overwhelmed or oppressed by circumstances or emotions, confusion, inability to change our lives for the better. A pause before moving into a new phase of life. Overwhelmed, yeah. It's a feeling of being knocked off your feet. 7 of Staves, which is also love, right? Love knocks you on your ass. 7 of Staves, I hope I can say that on YouTube, but it's, you know, it's not really a swear word anymore. So many other things have replaced that with other things. 7 of Staves. I remember when I was a kid, if I ever said bloody hell, I used to get my butt smacked. It was very, they were very not liking swearing. That was like a swear word. But it was, instead I laugh about that now because there are so many other worse words I can think of. 7 of Staves is defense, combat, and struggle. Success, instability. Success is possible, but only after dealing with very difficult people or situations that oppose your intentions. You may be up against people who don't want to see you with this other person. There may be a lot of competition for them, and you're the favoured one, but they have a lot of people that watch their channel, and a lot of people would like to be with them, and maybe you're competing against someone else who is a reader or is a psychic medium, because you've got here the future card is you as a psychic reader. Wisdom is the High Priestess. You're the High Priestess and he's the Magician. Perfect match, right? Not many people like to see people happy. People get jealous of each other. And there's a lot of competition out there on the platform. Maybe you're siding up with someone or think about collaborating with them, which would throw other people off their axis, or you would do better than everyone else because you're together. Wisdom gained from education, translating book learning into understanding. A teacher who will share with you what you are seeking, using wisdom to transform a difficult situation for the better. Shada and Shariah, knowledge, education, and enlightenment. Over the course of 1001 nights, Sharaza, I don't know if I'm saying that right, the wise bride of King Shariah tells many compelling stories. Sharaza's wisdom won the king's love and trust. In doing so, she saved her life, as well as those of her fellow women of the kingdom. I think I've watched an old movie that had that same theme. And then you have the Two of Cups. This is the union, the coming together of two very powerful beings. Two of Cups is the start of love. It is the dance of love. Just want to see what it says. Who have we got there? We haven't got any archetypes there. Harmony, partnership, and love. Enchantment. It's a alchemy of male and feminine aspects within oneself. An attraction that becomes an important friendship or love friendship. Maybe just admired each other's work online, and then there was a following. Fortune, Zeus and Danae. That's the Wheel of Fortune in the tarot deck, I'm pretty sure. Yep, the Wheel of Fortune. Danae and Zeus chanced fate, expansion, prosperity. King Acasus had a daughter named Danae, a princess with a curse, for upon her birth it was predicted that one of the princess's offspring would kill the king. When Danae came of age, the king called her within a tower made of bronze, and there's another tower reference. Despite this, Danae was loved by Zeus, and together they had a son named Perseus. Perseus grew into a strong man, and after many adventures he did slay Atticus as a punishment for treating his only daughter so cruelly. Maybe you feel like you've been put in a tower, you've been shut out from the world because of trying to protect you, but in fact it's made you become more of a target anyway. You can't prevent what's meant to be. I've learnt this. I've been shown the future, and then I couldn't do anything to stop it. So I don't understand why I'm shown it. There was a recent thing with a mass shooting in Iowa, and I had seen it 2 weeks beforehand. I'm usually 2 weeks out. I'm getting pretty strong lately because I've been isolating. And I can remember running through dormitory buildings, and I didn't know where I was, and I'm trying to hide from this mad gunman, and I had it 2 nights in a row where someone was trying to shoot at me, and I think within 2 weeks' time I happened to say, must be something going on in the world. So I went looking for shootings in schools, and then I found it in Iowa in January, I think it was, January 4th. So that's sort of what I do. You can't protect the ones you love. It's like that song, Cyndi Lauper takes a beautiful girl and hides her away from the rest of the world. And she wants to just be the one to walk in the sun, because girls just want to have fun. Yeah, you can only protect your children for so long. Your love should protect them, but you can't be smothering them either, because then they won't grow. You've got to live out their fate. Positive fate, the generosity of the universe, the ability to be open to abundance, awareness of beauty and love. So that's a real strong reading. 2 tower moments, 2 towers, 2 Aquarian references, because we're coming into Aquarius season, and unsettled energy within the whole reading, but it's there. Okay, that's all I have for you today, and that was for fire. That was a bigger reading than I anticipated, but there was so much to read into it. Sometimes I don't mean to give more attention to one, like earth or fire, or it just it depends on what I can read into it. And because this is a new deck, I'm still learning the meanings behind it, and the I guess sub meanings behind it as well.